It's time once again for me to hop into the swamp and talk about one of the grossest bits of drama YouTube has seen in quite some time, with the EDP 445 situation. Last week I made a whole video going over everything, no stone left unturned. I was putting my cock into every briefcase full of information I could find, and now today, only a week later, a lot more has happened, and there's a lot of things that I'd like to follow up on and kind of update, because I streamed all of this, and if you missed the stream, you fucked up, big mistake, you're missing out. And so when I did that, it was still like a developing story, and now we're reaching like the conclusion here, the end of the manga. So I just wanted to go over this because it is a crazy story. The EDP 445 situation is like going to a water park, but all of the water has been exchanged for sewage instead. It's fucking gross and yucky, but it's also kind of a wild ride. Before I get into it though, there's something I want to mention. It's unrelated to all this. Today I'm doing a big charity stream for a charity I'm very passionate about called Cure Rare Disease. It's going to be a massive art stream, so if you want to see more masterpieces like this being made for charity, please tune in. It's at twitch.tv/moistcritical. It'll be going on when this video goes up and will be happening for most of the night, so please feel free to stop by. The link's in the description. I'll just hit you real quick with a brief plot summary here. EDP 445 was a massive YouTuber who got Chris Hansened by another group online called Predator Poachers. They pretended to be a 13-year-old girl who hit up EDP, and then the conversation got all sexual, and eventually they got him to try and meet with a 13-year-old girl, and that's when they really caught him in 4K. And there's a lot more to it, obviously. Like, there's even an entire saga here in the anime where EDP sent pictures of his actual shit in a toilet bowl. He sent pictures of that to the 13-year-old girl. Not that that's like super crucial in the story or anything. Like, you know, the FBI is not going to see those shit pictures and be like, well, we fucking got him now. You know, we weren't going to press charges till we saw this awful loaf of shit in the toilet. But it's something that I find to just be so weird and wacky that I can't help but mention it every time I hear or talk about the EDP story. Because I've never even heard of someone like sending shit pics. He also does send dick pics too. He plays by the meta, but the shit pics was truly something innovative. But anyway, that's basically just the story. YouTuber gets Chris Hansen and gets caught as a pedophile in a sting operation here by the Predator Poachers. And in most cases, you would expect the person behind this to be someone good looking to do something great for the community, like they did a great act catching a bad person. So you would expect most people would be patting them on the back, you know, patting them on the ass, telling them good game. But you can't really do that for the guy behind Predator Poachers. His name is Alex. And since this big bust, a lot has come out about Alex. It's a lot of awful fucking shit. Half of it I can't even begin to show on YouTube because it is really deplorable stuff. Basically what happened is the Spider-Man meme where both Spider-Men are pointing at each other, but in real life. It was like a cliche scene from an action movie right before the villain dies. He's like, I'm taking you with me. That's what happened. So they bust EDP, but then Alex gets busted as well. Tons of clips surfaced from Alex where he was being extremely racist, dropping the N-word, hard R, homophobia. He was being really creepy to a decoy, asking them to do stuff for him, claiming it was a predator asking. It was really unsettling, disturbing, gross shit. He'd also make jokes about having children in his basement that he fucks. Like, he's a weird, gross fucking guy. And since all of this came out and the story blew up, EDP 445 has been banned off YouTube, and Chet Goldstein has been banned off YouTube. Chet Goldstein was the channel that Alex would use from Predator Poachers for all of the content, and it's unclear whether or not he was banned for all the racism that was on the channel, or really what he was banned for. If I had to spitball a guess, it would probably be all of the fucking racist shit that came out, and a lot of it was on the Chet Goldstein channel. That would be my guess. But I know when I mentioned this during the initial video, a lot of people were mad at me for saying just because the guy behind it's a bad guy doesn't discredit the investigation or the work. And I never said it did. You're just actual stupid brain to think that because this guy is bad, I am now all of a sudden defending EDP. Nobody's doing that. EDP's bad, and so are the people behind it. It was a good thing done by shitty people. It happens. You can still point out the shitty people while still acknowledging the good thing. I don't know why all of a sudden that was controversial to say. And it's still controversial. Like when people point out how awful of a person Chet Goldstein was, people often get met with angry comments saying, who cares? Doesn't matter. Being racist isn't as bad as being a pedophile. But I mean, they're both bad, so you can still point them out as bad. Like, you're just fucking dumb. Anyway, let me show you some of the clips, because people were also downplaying the severity of how awful this Chet Goldstein Alex guy was. So let me just show you a little bit. Highly censored, though, because this kind of shit is awful.
Dude, you can't say fucking live stream. It's bad. Dude, then we're gonna get offended and report us.
Oh, you right.
What the fuck is wrong with you? This guy just said a racist creep.
Where are you, black?
Yeah. It's probably a fucking angry n or something.
Oh, you right.
I don't want to eat anything right now. What the fuck, racist for real? I have a 3-year-old in my basement that's like lacking vitamin D. I provide her with plenty of D, just not the vitamin part.
Oh no, that's not good either.
Oh really?
Not if it's a child.
Well, I was tired of being a virgin, so what the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah. Fucking Nick. Oh shit, I said that in front of 216 people.
Yeah, the guy fucking sucks ass. Like, he's not a good person. He did a good thing, but he's not a good person. You can point out the good thing and also point out that the person is bad. It's not one or the other. It can be both. EDP's bad. Chet Goldstein, Alex, Predator Poachers Alex is bad. Now, there is one thing I'd also like to set the record straight on. The guy that was with Alex when they busted EDP on camera, the guy that was wearing the mask, he is not associated with Alex. That is a completely different person named CC Unit. He is not, like, affiliated with Alex and his shit. He doesn't, like, sign off on it or anything from everything I've seen from the guy. He just happened to collaborate with them on this case, and unfortunately, like a porta potty being rocked back and forth, got caught in the crossfire of shit. Which is unfortunate because, I mean, he was probably a good guy and probably had good intentions. He's been doing this for a lot of years from what I can tell. Whereas Alex was just looking to capitalize and make money off it. He was pumping merch through it. When you went to the website, all it was payment plans for like Predator Poacher merch, and him saying he'll come to your city to do like a stand-up routine and put like a finger in his butthole, smell it and laugh. Like, all Alex wanted was money out of it, and he got like 100,000 subs. He wouldn't even post the video till it got fully monetized. But CC Unit is not affiliated with that. He's completely separate and just happened to be there and collab with him on the day that they busted EDP. So I actually really do feel bad for that guy, assuming that he doesn't have a past like Alex, but from what I've seen, he does seem to just genuinely want to help make the community a better place. Now, don't pump those brakes yet, because this ride is still going. You can't get the fuck out of here. This is Mr. Bones' wild ride. This is a never-ending adventure here. The biggest development is absolutely the authorities getting involved and saying that they are going to look into the case. But they also acknowledge that it could be a bit difficult given that this is not a very well-conducted investigation by people that are less than professional, which is a remarkable understatement. Calling Alex less than professional is like calling a shotgun blast to the chest a minor boo-boo. It just doesn't really do it justice. It doesn't really capture the magnitude of the statement. Now, in the initial video, I showed you a couple different examples. One where the Predator Poachers made it much more difficult for authorities to move in and actually apprehend a pedophile. They said that the investigation was so bad that they couldn't really sanitize it and use it, and it just made it a lot harder for them to actually get charges against the predator. So we've seen examples where the vigilante predator hunters are really counterproductive to getting a pedophile behind bars, but then in the same video I also showed you an example where they were successful and helpful in getting a predator put away for at least a small length of time. So there's really no way to know where this is going to fall, if it's going to be like this investigation just fucked the case in the ass and now all of a sudden EDP isn't going to face any charges, or if this was actually helpful to the case. Overall, like I said in the last video, I think them going public with it isn't inherently a bad thing. Even if they were just trying to use this as like a spectacle for views and money, bringing it to the public eye was probably the right call regardless, because he was a public figure with a public platform, using that platform to prey on kids. So coming public and getting that platform removed from him absolutely was the right call to combating this case in particular. But whether or not that's going to make it harder for authorities to actually put him in jail is what we're going to have to wait to find out. All I know for sure is there are no heroes in this story, but there was a good act done by a bad person. And what a fucking crazy week on YouTube it's been from all this shit. Actually, probably one of the, like, wildest things I've seen on the platform. And yeah, I just wanted to do a little follow-up to it. I don't know if we'll hear any more about EDP and all this, because I imagine from this point forward, it's going to be between him and the authorities. So it probably won't be any more, like, public drama stuff on EDP. What better way to kick off the new year like looking backwards to the magical year of 2021? Let's take you back to the past to talk about a man who loved ass and cupcakes. I'm talking about EDP445. For those that don't remember, EDP445 was a massive YouTuber who in early 2021 got caught by a group of predator hunters for trying to have sex with a child. He got Chris Hansened and then recorded at the scene of the crime, where he defended himself by saying he wasn't actually there to fuck a child, he was just there for some cupcakes. And that kind of became his entire legacy. He's like the cupcake demon. Kind of like how the boogeyman was invented to scare kids into eating their vegetables. EDP is that cryptid, but for cupcakes. Like, hey, you better finish that cupcake. Your grandmother worked hard on it. If you don't, EDP's gonna climb through your window tonight and talk to you about the Eagles or some shit. So his whole thing now is he's been disgraced and banned everywhere on the internet. And I can't even begin to tell you the entire lore. This was probably one of the wildest stories I've ever actually seen in real time on YouTube. It just had so many twists and turns. There was a fucking crazy chapter in this whole thing where EDP sent a picture of his poop in a toilet to the kid. He like said, I ate a greasy pizza and took a fat shit, and then dropped a picture of his shit in the toilet bowl to them. It was a nutty ride. But anyway, since then, it's been radio silence for about 8 months. No one's really known what's happened to him. There's been tons of rumors, of course, that would start like he's in jail, or, you know, he's running for governor now, or he went to space and now he's a space pedophile, you know, just all kinds of things with no evidence. And last night on stream, chat made me aware of a new video that had an update with accurate information and a breakdown of the EDP story and where he is today. So I watched it last night on stream. That's twitch.tv/moistcritical. I stream every day. I'd love to see you there. I'll put the link in the description. Just please come on, swing by. I'm probably streaming right now. So I'll go ahead and play that for you now, and then I'm going to go over a bit more afterwards because I've done a little more research this morning on the situation. But just be aware that in the clips here, last night was New Year's, so there's a lot of fireworks going off in the background, so that's that banging that you keep hearing. Chat kept thinking I was kicking my desk, which confuses me because it's not like my desk is made out of nitroglycerin. It's not going to make like that kind of massive bang. So yeah, just a quick heads up there. The EDP445 video we're watching comes from YouTuber SunnyV2, who did a great job of researching the topic and getting all of the information out there. Okay, let's check on the EDP situation. Apparently he got arrested and went to jail, but this would be the first I've heard of that. So let's see.
EDP445 has been fired from 3 different jobs over the last couple of weeks as a result of people exposing his employment to TikTok.
What? Wait, really? Hold on, I didn't get a chance to read that Reddit thread. Did he actually try... Did he actually try and work at Chuck E. Cheese? There's no chance. Again, for those that don't know, EDP was the YouTuber who got exposed for being a pedophile or whatever, talking to kids and shit. He's most known for like the fist bump he tried to get from the predator catchers, as well as saying he was just there for a cupcake, even though there's like tons and tons of DMs of him confirming he was going to go there to try and fuck a kid. And then apparently now he's been fired 3 times, and one of the places was Chuck E. Cheese. I genuinely don't believe that.
From a few different properties, and he's now living out of a suitcase in a couple of unconventional crappy locations.
He had like 3 million subs. How is he out of money?
Update in the EDP445 tragedy is that
did he give it all to a 13-year-old or something?
One of his former YouTube 445 was caught in 4K on his way to pick up a cupcake. The topic was covered by almost everyone in the commentary community.
I'm sure by now many of you let's go! The EDP445 situation.
Creators who supported him in the past, such as Some Ordinary Gamers, would
let's
upload
go!
a video titled
We did that on stream.
Needs to be arrested immediately.
That was a wild
Why
stream.
has EDP been dropping hard? Because EDP is an individual that actually got Chris Hansen.
And after it was revealed of his banning, EDP was exactly 30 years old.
I like how it's being called the cupcake event.
When he was 19 years old. So the 179 million views deleted in the process meant that his entire portfolio of work completed in his 20s, 10 plus years worth of labor, was was wiped out quite literally overnight. One mistake was all it took for YouTube to decide that EDP445...
It wasn't one mistake though, right? As he mentioned, there was a history of mistakes, but this was the biggest. Charlie from 24 Hours in the Future, I decided to look into the other cases because, as mentioned in the video, there was a lot of previous allegations, even before this one, of EDP engaging with minors in inappropriate manner. So I looked into all of those, and for about a full year, a lot of evidence was surfacing that EDP kept flirting with and trying to hook up with underage fans. But somehow, for all of 2020, it all kind of flew under the radar and wasn't made a big deal. And it's not because he did a good job of defending himself, like his defense wasn't bulletproof or anything, he's no Saul Goodman. When it was brought to light a few times during live streams, all he said was, a bunch of no-life, no-pussy-getting motherfuckers kept pretending to be girls and my dumb ass fell for it. And that's it. Like, that's how he brushed it off. He basically just confirmed, like, yep, I've been talking to people I believed were underage girls. And then that was it. That's where it stopped. So I'm surprised it wasn't a bigger deal before this investigation, but this was definitely the most thorough with the most evidence and actually going there in person and catching him in 4K. But I'm just shocked that it took this long with all of these allegations out there. So, as mentioned in the video, it was not just this one mistake. He had an entire history of doing this kind of shit.
Account was deleted, another income stream had gone up in smoke. EDP445 then attempted to switch to Facebook. However, after gaining 6,000 followers...
Yeah, so that was real? That was really his page?
It was the same story over on Instagram.
Someone told us... Well, not someone. A bunch of people told us he made a Facebook page after the cupcake event. And I didn't believe it, because when you went to the Facebook page, like, one of the only things there was like... what was it again? It was... Oh, God damn it. We watched the video. It was some, like, really goofy video. I think it was even just talking about football or something, and then he casually mentioned he wasn't a pedophile while talking about football. He's like, yeah, the Eagles are going to go all the way this year, not a pedophile. Yeah, I just really have a whole lot of faith in the Eagles. Where they're going to fly. I thought for sure that was like a joke Facebook page, but I guess it's real? Yeah, no, that was after Cupcake event. So, on the EDP timeline, there's BC, which is before Cupcake, and then AC after Cupcake, and this was AC with the Facebook page. It really seemed fake, but I guess not.
He planned on making his own website to which he would continue posting.
That was real too?
EDP445 announced over on Facebook that he will be making his grand return to the internet with his own website to return to his old video.
Man, EDP445.com. It's coming soon. Been about like a week, maybe 2
No
weeks
fucking way. That was
EDP445.
Again. So we've been in this lore for a minute, playing in the pig pen with all this exposition here in real time. The website, I also was told, was previous clips from older videos where he mentioned wanting to start a website. This was not after the Cupcake tragedy, but I guess that was inaccurate. So he really, after getting banned everywhere, tried to make the EDP website. I don't know what the fuck would be on there besides, like, I don't know, baking recipes or some shit and then talking about the Eagles. But, man, my God. I guess all of that was real, and I was making fun of people who told me about it, saying, like, you're too gullible. No, I'm the idiot. Oh, yeah, I guess he could post shit pictures on his website, too, which is cool. Kind of like a new modern-day Rate My Poo, if anyone remembers that from the early internet. Rate My Poo was kind of lit. It was just this community project where a bunch of people would take pictures of their shit in the toilet bowl, and then you'd have a star system and give it a 1 out of 10. And then you'd get to the next piece of poop. It was pretty cool. That was big back in the Gears of War day. People would often, like, disguise the Rate My Poo link as something else and send it to people in the community to get them to rate shit pics.
In spite of how much of a scumbag EDP445 truly was, you have to give him credit for sheer determination, because he then began to upload videos on another third-party website called Speak TV, where his account would be met with the same fate. It was banned.
What is
he wrote, for some reason, my channel was deleted. I don't have a clue what's going on. I didn't violate any guideline. Can you please tell me what's going on? EDP.
That just sounds like some kind of student server. Like a university project.
From each and every Live profile.
Bro went from wanting cupcakes to driving for Lyft.
And his position.
Goddamn, man. Why? Like, even after all of this, he is still taking these pictures. This looks like a predator. Why? Just take a normal fucking picture.
driving for Lyft.
And his position as a driver would subsequently be removed by the company. The situation would promote Reddit discussion, with one post stating EDP as a Lyft driver, how the mighty have fallen, which received commenting to a very basic unconfirmed source. EDP also apparently applied a Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay, so that is definitely a lie.
Didn't seem to get the position. EDP 445
so that was definitely a fucking lie.
Make money online or in. The strange part about this is that when you try and search the court register from the Reddit post by typing in his name, Bryant Moreland, it now states that there are no results found, possibly indicating that EDP 445's name change has been successful and he's no longer.
Oh my god.
Moreland.
As you can see,
He could be anywhere now.
Moreland Bryant. Submit. No results.
He could be anyone.
The problem with this, as outlined by the EDP 445 subreddit,
imagine he just changed his name to like
spot. This idiot
Borland Myrant.
He will be spotted everywhere no matter how.
Constant harassment the property owner has been getting.
Since then, EDP has been living out of a suitcase at various hotels. However, even then, his detractors have been going around trying to get him kicked out of wherever he happens.
How are they finding him?
Everyone in here.
What?
I will be more than happy to let them know. Thank you very much.
It's like when Shia LaBeouf put a flag in the middle of bumblefuck nowhere, and people on 4chan found it using star constellations and airplane routes. They're finding EDP in his suitcase across the country. A global game of Where's Waldo. They're passing out flyers and shit. Oh my god.
Less than a month ago, on the 3rd of December 2021, he'd uploaded a video titled, "Is EDP445 in Jail?" In this video, Felipe explained that while out having dinner, he'd get a call from a private number, stating that it was EDP445, who was being held at the Henderson, Nevada Detention Center.
So the third time I picked up, I was like, hello? And it said, yes, because I was like, I was just curious to see, like, holy shit, like, he got arrested, like, wow,
The issue is the only evidence that he's able to provide is 4 no-caller ID calls on his iPhone, which isn't exactly rock-solid evidence to say the least, and Felipe's character is suspect at best. He only gets views when he talks about EDP445, and without EDP on the internet to defend himself, anyone can say anything. Additionally, EDP did successfully change where Henderson is, Kern County, which is where Bakersfield is, and Manatee County, which is where Bradenton, Florida is, which said that he was connected to online. No Bryant Moreland is in any of those prisons. In the end, it doesn't really...
That was pretty fucking interesting. Jesus. Yeah, I think there's a 0% chance he's in jail for what it's worth. Almost every single time when there's like a vigilante predator hunter that exposes a predator, the law enforcement throws out the case pretty much on the spot. The shit very rarely leads to like incarceration for the people that they catch. It's only in really rare circumstances. Like, even that PlayStation guy that got fired from PlayStation for being outed, he's not arrested or anything. But, I mean, even still, it worked really well here. EDP lost every platform that he could use to prey on children, so overall, net positive. Even if he's not in jail, like the video mentioned at the end, his life is kind of like a perpetual fucking jail, because people are still hunting him, I suppose. Still locating him. So, where does that put us in the Eat the Pussy 445 universe? Where is he now? What's true and what's false? From everything I've been able to gather online, what's true is he has not been able to hold a job because people keep making the companies aware of his past, so they let him go. He has been evicted from the places he's tried to stay. He is struggling with money, which absolutely blows my mind, because at 2 million subs, and the amount of money that he'd be making at 2 million subs, he should have been set for life, so he must have a problem with spending money. Even though a lot of his content would get demonetized, he'd still have plenty, because demonetized content still makes money, and it's not negligible amounts of money. So those are all true. What is also true is he attempted to change his name, but what's unknown is whether or not that was successful. It seems like his name change has been successful, however, can't confirm nor deny that. And what also seems to be false is the claim that he's in jail. There's no real evidence to say that he's in jail, it just sounds made up like the Tooth Fairy or some shit. The only source that says that is that YouTuber, and as mentioned in the video, he has incentive to like make EDP content and say things like that because it gets him views, so it's not the most reliable, and he didn't provide very good evidence or proof for it. It is also true he's been banned on every platform the internet has ever had, it seems. He's tried everywhere, so he's banned on like Facebook, Instagram, 3Speak, Cameo, fucking Any website you could possibly imagine he's banned from. Club Penguin, Wizard 101, Discord probably. I mean, God only knows. He's tried everywhere in order to try and get back on the internet, and it hasn't worked at all. Every platform immediately gets rid of him. So yeah, that's the full update on the Eat the Pussy 445 story. I just wanted to revisit this since this video was recently posted, and it's a story I've said for months now, many moons, that Andrew Tate is one of the most entertaining clowns the internet has to offer. But today, the circus finally closed. Andrew Tate and that zit that has latched himself on to Andrew Tate like a leech, Tristan, his brother, have both been arrested on human trafficking charges. The clip of Tate being escorted to the police vehicle instantly went viral, and I really love how the officers are dressed in this video because it looks like they're ready to fight the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but then it's just this goofy goober Andrew Tate. Now, this isn't Tate's first rodeo with human trafficking charges, but last time he just blamed it on swatting, calling it all just fake and a hoax, and all the meat riders that attached themselves to Andrew Tate's butthole like a hemorrhoid, of course, wrote this off as corruption and a bunch of baloney. But now it's happening again, and this one seems a lot harder to just dismiss. But you know what they say, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, well then you're just breaking out of the matrix, am I right, hustlers? The Hustlers University is what Andrew Tate is most famous for. You pay $50 a month for a Discord server, which is the most pathetic thing on the planet, and I think adds to the comedy of Andrew Tate and all of his fans. And in that godforsaken Discord server, it acts as like Alcoholics Anonymous, where people just hype each other up and tell each other their problems with not getting laid or not being financially stable, while getting lectures from people that aren't even Andrew Tate on the most basic stuff imaginable. They hype themselves up as top G alpha males, but they're pissing away $50 a month to learn basic drop shipping techniques and how to do push-ups. I'm gonna let all of you in on a secret. Even the people that are very successful that like Andrew Tate are not stupid enough to be paying $50 a month for advice you can find on WikiHow. It is so embarrassing. It's a scam, and you're not in on it. You're the victim, and yet you're so brainwashed you continue to swallow his whole meat for it with a smile on your face. He is preying on insecure men, and he is doing everything he can to keep you a virgin. When you're a virgin, you're a Hustlers University student. When you're a virgin, you're an Andrew Tate supporter because he's feeding you things you want to hear and you're taking it as, you know, telling it like it is. Meanwhile, you're unhappy and still not getting laid. And he's also giving you bad financial advice because when you're making money, you'll learn that everything he's saying is fucking worthless. So he needs to keep you just broke enough to afford the $50 a month that you're wasting on his awful techniques and awful advice. Andrew Tate's entire business and career relies on you being insecure and financially unstable. So obviously he doesn't actually want you to succeed. You're just paying money for hopium. Snap out of it. You leaving Hustlers University is you leaving the Matrix, goddammit. Just think about all the money you'll save not paying for that shit. You could afford a gym membership. Then you could access free information for workouts online that'll actually give you results. You can get big and strong like me. This is very long-winded. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked because we're talking about Andrew Tate and it's such a wacky situation. I couldn't help but throw all this in here. But yeah, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, they've been arrested on human trafficking charges following an investigation that's been ongoing for quite some time. And the way that they actually apprehended him is extremely silly. It all ties back to a Twitter argument he had with a teenage girl. I'm sure you've all seen it. It was very public. He made this statement to Greta Thunberg about the emissions and his supercars and all that, and then she responded with a dunk on him that went viral. It's one of the top 25 most liked posts on all of Twitter right now. It's got about 3 million likes and counting, basically just saying he has small dick energy in response to what he said to her. And this sent him into meltdown mode. He very clearly got a bit hurt by this response, and one of his immediate tweets after this was talking about having sex with her, where some fucking lunatic on there is like, Andrew Tate and Greta need to fuck already. And he just responded saying she isn't ready, which is super creepy and weird, just actual degenerate shit here. And when I first read this, I thought this was just full mask-off pedophilia. I didn't realize Greta Thunberg was 19. I thought she was still like 16 or something. So when I read this conversation, I thought they were just openly talking about fucking kids. Like, I had lost my marbles for a second. I had to Google to make sure that these weren't just two people admitting to being pedophiles. But yeah, it turns out that she is 19, but that doesn't make it any less awful to say shit like this. But all of this stress of being dunked on in such a big way was clearly very taxing on the smooth brain of Tate. So he then made a response video. And it's a very cringe response video. I actually think they should have slapped on an additional charge for cringe. He should have been hit with human trafficking and overwhelming plus ultra fucking turbo cringe, because this response video was abominable. Anyway, he made this video, posted it out there, big smile on his face, super excited. I'm gonna get the last laugh. You don't dunk on me. I come in here and I fucking dunk on you. But then, a new slam and jammer entered into the equation. The Romanian authorities. You see, in this video, he made a mistake. He included a pizza box from a Romanian pizza place, which let the authorities know that he was still in the country. So, after realizing that, they tracked him down and arrested him today. The authorities gathered all the evidence they needed, and because Andrew Tate couldn't fight the urge to publicly argue with a teenage girl on Twitter, they got him and his brother. It's almost poetic in a sense. He got finally taken down because he just absolutely couldn't fight his own ego. It's a guy who gets a lot of credit for being smart despite being an absolute fucking buffoon. Like a legitimate goddamn troglodyte. He made this emotionally charged, absolutely pathetic response video to try and look cool once again for his audience, and in doing so, he led the authorities right to him and his brother, who had been, I guess, evading them for quite some time. Pretty wild situation, honestly. He begged, he whined, cried, threw a tantrum, demanding he get his Twitter account back, and that ended up being the thing that put the final nail in his coffin here, it seems. Now, of course, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the charges and where this goes from here, but I think it's a little hard to explain away 2 instances of human trafficking with Andrew Tate here and raids on his property. That's not just a common occurrence. That's not something that just happens like a whoops-a-daisy. I guess it wasn't human trafficking. We made a mistake here. We got wires crossed. He's actually completely innocent. That's not something super normal. Of course, mistakes do happen when it comes to law enforcement, but human trafficking is one that doesn't pop up all that often. And I know a lot of people like to say it's just because Andrew Tate was so powerful and telling it like it is. He was revealing the truth and breaking out of the matrix. What the fuck are you talking about, you goddamn idiot? All he was saying is like, oh, you need to treat women this way, and they're gonna treat you this way, and you'll get pussy this way. And you need to do this kind of drop shipping in order to make this kind of money. Like, that's not exactly something that the government's gonna have a huge issue with. Him feeding you bad information on getting pussy, and bad information on making money. Like, he's not revealing any kind of crazy secrets that the government would try and come after him for. He's just an internet asshole. He's just a troll who found a way to milk money out of insecure dudes. That's not something that the big eye in the sky, you know, the man behind the curtain's gonna come after him for to silence him with false charges. This isn't some giant espionage movie. It's all pretty simple to follow stuff. Like, if you stop to think about it for a couple of seconds, it just doesn't make any sense why they would come after him if there's no real charges or any, like, real stuff, shady stuff going on. But yeah, the human trafficking charges are extremely concerning now. It's some very serious shit, and I've already seen some extremely hard cope from Andrew Tate's fans saying that human trafficking's not even a big deal anyway. Like, it's blown way out of proportion, or, you know, it's not a real issue, which is super alarming to read. Like, goddamn, to think human trafficking's not a big deal is mind-blowing. Very brain-dead stuff. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens now going forward since he's been arrested. We'll see what comes from it, but I still find it to be a wacky situation, and, you know, it's a little odd that it's happened twice now. So, yeah, 2022's finishing off with a bang. Just a wild finale to this year. They've set off the fireworks a little early before New Year's because a fat load of goofiness was just dumped on us like a filthy, stinky golden shower. We received a delivery for a package of drama that not many people ordered or expected. So I just wanted to do like a little ESPN halftime show and just kind of give everyone the update on where everything's at, because so much has happened all at once in just the last 24 hours. It's hard to keep track of. So I'm just going to be here as like your navigator on the ship. The first and obviously largest topic to begin with is the Andrew Tate situation, with him and his brother Tristan being arrested in Romania on human trafficking charges. At least that's what was initially reported by every major outlet ever. However, this has been developing in a very interesting way. It's like diarrhea in a swimming pool. The water's getting messy. Because it started circulating on Twitter that he wasn't arrested on human trafficking charges, it was money laundering and not human trafficking. The genesis of this claim started from an account called Rap TV, which I'm not super familiar with, but from everything I can read, they're not like the end-all be-all of truth tellers, but they made a post claiming that human trafficking charges against the Tate brothers were bogus. It was actually them being apprehended for money laundering suspicion. However, that tweet's now been deleted. And while they've deleted that tweet, this one still remains on their account about it being an alleged human trafficking probe. So to me, that says that they must have got word, like officially, that it wasn't money laundering. However, that narrative still exists on Twitter and has led to massive debates about what's the truth behind their arrest. I haven't seen a single major outlet run with this narrative other than a couple of random accounts on Twitter. Not even like news accounts or anything like that, just actual random individuals running with it, even though that tweet has now been backpedaled. Every major outlet that's covering the case hasn't mentioned money laundering a single time, which I suppose you could write off as a big conspiracy to keep the truth under wraps, I guess, but most of them are just focusing on what the prosecutors are claiming to have found, with like 6 women who had been sexually exploited. These are big claims and obviously nothing's proven yet, so we're gonna have to wait to see how this case plays out, which is exactly what I said in the last video as well. It's not some kind of done deal. This is a big investigation that's been ongoing for some time, so we're gonna have to see how everything turns out. Now, I also do take a lot of information from outlets with a grain of salt, as everyone should. However, when every major outlet, including official sources involved in the case, as well as video evidence of the arrest and everything is coming out, it's no longer just a rumor and potential fake news. There's clearly something going on here. So the reason why I'm mentioning that right now is because this really exploded this morning when Andrew Tate on Twitter made a statement of his own. He tweeted, "The Matrix sent their agents." And this led people to believe that it was all a hoax from the beginning. He's clearly free now, thus all of this was a bunch of baloney. But that's not the case because he was only being detained for 24 hours from the start. It's been 24 hours, thus they let him go, like a fish back into the water. Like he's home, he can tweet, he could even make another video smoking a cigar if he wanted to. But it's not because he's free from the investigation or anything, he's just free from the holding period. From everything I have read, and from everything I've seen from the sources, like the real sources, like the officials, he is still being investigated on the human trafficking charges, and they're currently trying to lobby for a 30-day extension on his detainment period while they continue to investigate. So he is able to tweet, talk, and do everything he'd like to do now, but that doesn't mean that proves his innocence. They let him go because of that, at least not in anything I've read so far. Now maybe that changes in the next couple hours, it's very possible. But like I mentioned, on stream as well, I am not surprised that he is not being held in prison for the duration of this investigation. Him being released on bail, I could absolutely see being a permanent thing throughout the entire investigation and being able to do what he wants online. Like, that's not surprising in the slightest. But it makes no sense, like a ton of takes I saw on Twitter this morning about like how my video is now completely incorrect because Andrew Tate is home tweeting. No, it's not. Everything I said isn't invalidated by the fact that he is past the 24-hour detainment period. That was always going to happen. That doesn't disprove anything. Everything about like the claims and all of that are still there and the investigation is ongoing. He is just able to tweet and do what he wants now because of the detainment period expiring. Like, it's just delusional to say that now it was all just rumors being spread. I make you feel real fucking silly now, Charlie. No, I was reporting on all of the facts that were presented from the video of the arrest, from all of the claims made by the prosecutors and everything going on there. I was talking about those and even mentioning we're going to have to wait to see how everything wraps up, and now we've had a more recent development with what's going on in the investigation, and now he's past the detainment period, so maybe Andrew Tate will even make a public statement about all of this and give more insight into what's happening. Like, this is not something that's surprising or unexpected, and it doesn't all of a sudden magically make everything I said in the last video wrong, because all of those facts are still currently facts, unless that gets overturned in the next few hours, which again, it could happen. It's very possible, I'm not denying that. I'm not there. I don't have a secret camera installed in Andrew Tate's home. I don't know what the truth is. I'm learning the same as everyone else. That pizza box theory had a lot of weight behind it with where that source came from making the claim. So that one is still currently intact as well, and a lot of people are harping on that, like, how could you ever believe it was the pizza box? Well, because they even said it in like their initial reports, like that is still there. which it could be overturned. All of it could be, as it develops. And so we're going to wait and see. I'm just talking about all of the information that's available and what's going on. So yeah, just wanted to clear that up. And I know a lot of people have been stressing about this with Andrew Tate and his brother being arrested. So you probably had a difficult time sleeping. And maybe it's because of the stress, and maybe your mattress just isn't that great. So I'd like to thank Helix, the sponsor for today's video, because maybe it'll help you get some sleep in such troubling times. Big thanks to Helix for sponsoring today's video. Helix makes premium quality mattresses that are conveniently shipped to your door and perfectly match your sleeping needs. They have a Helix sleep quiz which will match you to the perfect mattress based on your body type and sleep preferences. So if you want something more firm or something a little softer, it'll find that out in the sleep quiz and match you with the perfect mattress to accompany that. So I've had a Helix mattress for about 2 years now, and it's still the perfect fit for my body type. It's not super firm and it's not super soft. It's in that nice limbo in between, and it's still a comfort level I haven't seen in other mattresses since. It was a super quick and easy process to fill out the quiz and get that mattress, and I absolutely think it was 100% worth it. And it was also just super easy to get it all together since it was shipped right to the door. It comes rolled up in a box, you just unroll it, and then you're pretty much set to go. And there's even a 100-night sleep trial that lets you test the mattress to ensure that you love it. And if you don't, you know, no problem. Helix mattresses include a 10-year warranty, and they offer financing options for flexible payment plans. So if you're interested in getting a premium mattress to match your body type, make sure to go to helixsleep.com/moist to get up to $200 off plus 2 free pillows. Next up is Logan Paul once again making a fool out of himself. He posted this picture on Twitter, I guess as a little prelude to his upcoming response to the CoffeeZilla video series that exposed him for a massive crypto scam called Crypto0. He's been teasing that he's going to respond to it on January 3rd, and then he dropped this little nugget of cringe on Twitter today. He's cosplaying as CoffeeZilla with his standard attire, and the caption is just coffee and cap emoji. So I'm led to believe, as are most people, that what he's doing is a satirical investigation on himself, where he's going to be diving deep into Crypto0 and everything that happened there. And I imagine the shocking revelation from his investigation will be that he's innocent. Logan Paul investigated himself and found out that it was actually everyone around him that was evil, not him. He's the good guy. Logan Paul has cleared himself of all charges. He is innocent on all accounts. Like I said in the initial video, I really am excited to see his side of things. He's maintained that CoffeeZilla got it wrong, so I'm really excited to see from his perspective. You know, I'm pumping my fist to watch Ace Attorney Paul get out there and set the record straight and present his evidence from his side. If I had to take a guess at how he's going to work this case, I imagine he is going to focus very heavily on Eddie and Jake the Crypto King. I'm not going to get too deep into this because maybe some of you aren't familiar with the Crypto0 scam that Logan Paul was exposed for, so I won't get into the weeds of it, but I imagine he is going to drill heavily on those two characters as bad actors while downplaying his involvement with the project, even though he was the face of it and the one that actually put it on the map promoting it. So I feel like he is going to really laser focus on those two being bad, and once again, everyone involved in Crypto0 was a scammer, so they're all bad. But he's going to really minimize his involvement in the entire project and just focus on the other people that were also bad. That's what I think will result from the investigation, but I am super open to be proven wrong. I just wanted to put my prediction out here just in case it happens to be accurate, because then it looks really cool. But I am a little pessimistic about how this is going to play out for him, because he doubled down on the cringe by posting this video, or this picture as a reply, which is just a picture of a broken coffee mug with coffee on the floor. That is so lame. I really hope this is just a stock photo and he didn't set this up for a photo shoot, because that is embarrassing. Now, the next crazy topic that's happened over the last 24 hours is YouTube secretly rolling out a huge policy change, like an absolutely massive change to the platform that overnight demonetized tons and tons of channels. Like entire channels being demonetized, very popular channels losing monetization on like half of their catalog of videos. It's a big change that YouTube didn't publicize, so no one saw it coming. It snuck up and surprised everybody. It's a change to their policy in regards to profanity and in regards to like violent gaming content or anything involving violence, even like in its animated forms and shit too. So I actually won't talk about it too deep right now because I made an entire video going over the entire subject because there's so many moving parts to it. So I'll post that later on tonight. This next topic actually isn't super new, at least not in regards to the other ones here. It's not something that's happened over the last 24 hours, but it's still one I want to talk about because it's just a trend that continues to infuriate me and a lot of other people as well. The Last of Us showrunner is once again doing the standard thing of belittling the games that they're adapting for the show. This is a terrible strategy that's been used by many shows that have come before Last of Us, most notably and most disgustingly by the Halo TV show, where the creators proudly proclaim that they never played the games and had no interest in playing the games, which is what the fucking franchise was based off of in the first place. It's just this continued trend of shitting on the games and making it seem like you actually don't care about that at all. Like, what is the point? Why make an enemy out of the fans of the property you're adapting? It is just so nonsensical. It's fucking lunacy. I don't get it, and they continue to do it. Just loving the smell of their own farts so much that their entertainment medium is so much better than video games. In video games, it's just pixels that are dying. In TV, it's people pretending to die. It's so much more highbrow than your lame-ass games. We're doing you a favor by adapting that trash into our HBO Last of Us show. Here's his whole statement, and I don't even disagree with it. It's not incorrect. It's just useless to say because this comes across as you not respecting the game you're adapting. When you're playing a section, you're killing people, and when you die, you get sent back to a checkpoint, all the people are back moving around in the same way. Watching a person die, I think, ought to be much different than watching pixels die. Yeah, I mean, it should be different. But why say it this way? But when you say watching pixels die and like downplaying the emotional impact the game can have on someone and just reducing it to just pixels on a screen, you're clearly showing some kind of bias towards not really liking the game itself. You could have said this same message very differently. Oh, in The Last of Us, Death was always very emotional and did a great job in the medium, and we're hoping we can take that same energy and deliver that same emotion in our field. We're hoping with our show we can faithfully adapt the video game characters into the real world, and it's going to be a little different because now it's human beings you're seeing here, but hopefully it can still hit the same emotional beats the game did. Like, you're saying the same thing, but in a very different way. It's very clear that you are showing a lot of respect to the source material that you're adapting. I was very optimistic for The Last of Us TV show, because for me it sounds like something you can't really fuck up, since it's such a clear roadmap to follow. It's just like there's very little wiggle room to ruin it. But now, after reading this statement, I have to scratch my head and get a little curious. Well, how much did they play the game, and do they even like the game they're adapting? Because it seems like time and time again, studios pass off these adaptations to departments and people that don't even play or like the property that they're adapting. So why the fuck do they keep getting the projects? But yeah, that was really the last big topic that's happened recently that I thought was important, just to get the cliff notes out here about what's going on. A lot of these stories are still developing, obviously, so I'm very curious to see where all of... I have been following the Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX collapse closer than I've followed anything else in my entire life. I've been tuning in actively to every single thing that Sam Bankman-Fried's been doing. I've been like the NSA on his ass, just watching every Q&A, every painful, uncomfortable interview he does. I was there watching like a hawk. Every time his silly little mouth uttered the words, I don't know, I couldn't know, I don't remember, I don't recall, I'm not sure. I was there, with fucking blood pouring out of my ears, having to listen to his grating little helium-infused fucking voice try to weasel his way out of every question tossed his way. I was there watching. I spent more time studying Sam Bankman-Fried than I did studying for my SATs. And now, we are finally reaching the climax to this entire ordeal. Sam Bankman-Fried has officially been arrested. It is such a breath of fresh air. Like, I was actually shocked that he got arrested, because over the last couple weeks, I really started to believe he was going to get away with it. With the way journalists write about him, like he's some kind of angel, and to the fact that there was no, open investigation that I was hearing about, often, I just thought he was just going to get away from all of this. He was booking interviews up until, yesterday when he was arrested. He still had, interviews booked with major outlets. I just thought, you know what, game over. The bad guy wins. There is no justice. But then, out of nowhere, like a deus ex machina, he gets arrested. And it turns out They've been investigating him, and this is going to be a very big case. So, a great plot twist here that I'm super happy to see. So let's go over the situation here. I went over it on stream, so I'll just play you the clips from that. So SBF did finally get arrested in the Bahamas. It is amazing news. And somehow, even in all of that, this headline still finds a way to suck his dick a bit. How effective altruism let Sam Bankman-Fried and the FTX collapse happen. They're still calling this fucking fraud altruistic. It is despicable. Absolutely despicable. Even still, right now. Crazy. It's just crazy. But yeah, he got arrested in the Bahamas. And with any luck, he'll be facing some very extreme charges. I don't see how he wiggles his way out of it. It really feels like this will finally be some justice served. I'm going to imagine at this point Sam Bankman-Fried is really regretting all of those interviews he's been doing. I bet he is really kicking sand like, damn, maybe I should have stopped doing Twitter Q&As where I just actually admit to crimes. Who could have expected this result? Why didn't he just lie low? Bro, I have no idea why he didn't just lie low. He was just so addicted to the meat swallowing. Like in the crypto space, when you have a crypto project it doesn't even have to be successful. You have your cock handled by crypto bros 24/7. They fight for you on Twitter. They run all of your marketing for you for free. And I'm just assuming he was used to that kind of attention. He wanted to continue to be looked at like this god that the crypto community treated him like. I do wonder, and I didn't read this in the other article I read about it. Granted, it wasn't this article. I do wonder if they're going to go after his girlfriend, the 28-year-old Harry Potter fan. What did she do to get labeled as a Harry Potter fan? I don't know. So when they were still writing all those fluff pieces after everything came collapsing, or actually it might have been before, I don't remember the timeline now. They're writing articles about her, calling her like, look at this 28-year-old Harry Potter fan who's managing billions here. Wow, it's absolutely incredible. And then she'd be doing these interviews where she just doesn't know what she's talking about. So now that's become her legacy. She's the 28-year-old Harry Potter fan. Very quirky. Does Atrioc talk about it? Here, let me watch Big A's new video on it. I bet Atrioc is celebrating so fucking hard. He has been doing such a great job with this story from the very beginning. I bet Atrioc's wiggling his finger right now.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen,
that looks about right.
Two things for stealing and defrauding millions of customers.
So I'm gonna say I didn't think we'd get here. I was losing so much faith in an actual set of consequences for Sam Bankman-Fried. I am absolutely shocked. I really didn't think we'd be able to get him. It didn't seem like they even cared. This man was still booking interviews with the biggest outlets imaginable. And they were still writing pieces about him being like a hero who had some unavoidable catastrophe happen unjustly. I just didn't think it happened. I really didn't. I was losing faith, but then we brought it back, baby. And now we have a potential good conclusion to this anime arc for Sam Bankman-Fried. And that FTX hat that Big A's wearing is fire. That's looking good here.
But a person close to the matter has revealed, according to this New York Times article, that the charges include wire fraud conspiracy, securities fraud conspiracy, and money laundering. He got hit with the quintuple whammy. And the thing is,
sir,
I've
the
read
5
a lot
fingers.
of articles like this
That's
one
big.
for the past month now, especially because he's been on a notorious PR tour for the past month, going around to every media outlet that'll have him and saying, oops, I fucked up. And in every one of these interviews, anytime someone asks him a hard question, you have to promise to never ever say you fucked up again. I told them to go fuck themselves.
What a hero.
Well, you might want to
What a
listen to him,
saint.
Sam, because it is looking extremely likely that a lot of that's going to come back to haunt you.
The thing is, like, I said this when we were talking about the CoffeeZilla interview. His defense has been, this entire time, I'm just an idiot. I'm so stupid, man. I'm so sorry for all of these mistakes. I'm just dumb. I'm just this absolute brain-dead troglodyte, and, I'm just a dummy. And that was his whole defense. Like, you can't arrest me. I'm stupid. Like, that's been the entire time. And it's been working. Like, it's actually been fucking working. But yeah, I have to imagine his lawyers have not been happy with the way he's been conducting himself in terms of defense. And like, the open admittance to fraud with CoffeeZilla. That certainly didn't help. I do think CoffeeZilla's interview will actually be cited in court. It has to be usable, right? Like, that's not... Like, that wouldn't be something that they could keep out. Like, I feel like that'd be a good piece of evidence.
Over and over again, there is an innocent explanation. I'm a goof. I'm a big, dumb goof.
Yeah.
I'm a big, curly-haired, League of Legends loving goof. And I didn't know. I didn't know that you couldn't take customer funds and punt it on crypto and lie about it. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could replace all the deposits with a made-up FTT token. In fact...
What do you mean I can't just take all the customers' assets and buy worthless shitcoins with it? What? That's... Terms of service? Our terms of service? You mean I violated those? I have to play by those rules? No, that's... No, oh my god, how silly could I be? This is how embarrassing. I'm so sorry. This is just a really, really, absolutely embarrassing moment for me.
Issue a brand new FTT token and distribute that.
What?
That's a productive plan. No! That is not the solution.
What the fuck?
Sam, that was the problem. That's why you're here to begin with. I made a lot of mistakes.
Who wrote that? This is like, that is just the actual biggest Twitter crypto moment I've seen in a minute. Give the worst possible idea, and then some people for some reason agree with it. Hey, yeah, just fire on the old money printer. Why doesn't Sam Bankman-Fried just print more dollars to make everyone whole again? Fuck, it's that easy.
Again, already
we knew that
should be illegal. Second, Alameda used client funds to engage in margin trading.
We knew that.
Extremely risky debt-fueled trading. So taking your money that you deposited in a bank to be held safely and then punting it on incredibly risky crypto bets without your knowledge or consent. Again, illegal. And
this is really cool, because this is exactly what CoffeeZilla called him out on to his face. Directly to him, where SBF kind of had his armor dented and just, like, admitted it. Like, straight admitted it to CoffeeZilla. Those, like, 2 points in particular. And now we have the Enron guy, assuming this is his real statement, I imagine it is. We have the Enron guy echoing that, which is wonderful. They also forgot a charge for sucking ass at League. Well, we haven't finished all the charges yet. They're not all unveiled. So that could still be tacked on there for being hard stuck bronze 3. Check CoffeeZilla's community tab. Oh, did he post something in the community tab? It's gotta be him, like, taking a shot or something, like maybe just pumping his fist saying, I told you so. Or like, I did it. He should absolutely be taking some credit. Oh, no, he's just hyping up the video for tomorrow. Fuck yeah, nice. I thought this was gonna be a picture of him just maybe doing a little TikTok dance or something to celebrate. Do I think he'll see any jail time? Yes. I was skeptic. I started to lose faith that he'd actually be arrested, but now that he is, those charges are huge. I just don't know how he could possibly weasel his way out. If he had just shut the fuck up, like if after all of this happened, if he had just gone dark, off grid, you know, have his mommy and daddy buy him a farm somewhere in the middle of fucking nowhere, no electricity, live like an Amish person for a while, I think he may have been able to squeak his way out. I think maybe. But he has been so open with this shit for the last month and a half. I can't imagine a world where he could, you know, squeak a little stinker out of there and not face jail time. He was too addicted to clout. He's gonna call Saul. Yeah, I mean, anyone shy of Saul he's fucked. His parent, yeah, chat's right, his parents are compliance lawyers, but I don't think that means they can somehow save their son here. Like, that's kind of useless at this stage of the game. I don't see how them being compliance lawyers is in any way going to be helpful to getting him out of these charges.
Next topic, which is what I'm a little bit nervous about. Again, I am no conspiracy nut, but being a crypto billionaire, former or otherwise,
he's gonna... I'll brief... Well, he'll probably give the context. There was a crypto billionaire recently who turned up dead after making I don't know if it was one post or a series of posts alluding to the fact that some very dangerous people were after him. That was some pretty shady shit. That was a pretty creepy thing. That happened only a few days ago. And apparently that was one of only like 2 or 3, or maybe even more, crypto billionaires that have turned up dead recently. So it is like that is a pretty scary set of circumstances. Yeah, it's like actually getting Epsteined. Except this one was just blatant murder. Like, I believe the most recent crypto billionaire was, like, his body was found at the sea. Like, it washed up on shore. Let me double check.
Mr. Koolander here died at 30 a few days ago. This guy. Mushigan, Nikolai Mushigan, 29, died a few days ago. Yeah, Taran. So, a Russian crypto tycoon, he died in a helicopter accident. Now, again, all of these seem to have innocent explanations, but 3 of them dying within a few days of each other, all in the crypto space, is odd.
Yeah, it is peculiar. I would say the one with the paranoid tweets isn't exactly like the most innocent explanation. Let me double check. Which one was that? Right before Nikolai passed away, he tweeted some suspicious conspiracies surrounding the government on October 28th. Okay, so not that soon. Tweeted that the CIA and Mossad and some pedophile-related organizations noted as the pedo elite are running some kind of sex trafficking and blackmailing business from Puerto Rico and the Caribbean islands. And then he said that they're going to frame him with a laptop planted by his ex-girlfriend who was a spy, and they will torture him to death. So that does read like somebody that's a bit paranoid, but he actually did turn up dead in Puerto Rico not long after. Previously, he's mentioned fighting some evil people who use debt and blackmail as weapons and claimed that he shall be murdered under the disguise of suicide by the FBI. It is very strange. The cause of death is just drowning, right? He left his beach house located in the posh locality Condad of San Juan for a morning walk. His estate is estimated to be $6 million. Later in the morning at around 9 a.m., some local surfers discovered his body at a Puerto Rico beach. They reported it to the police, and his identity was confirmed. They mentioned the beach is famous among surfers, although Nikolai was not known to be inclined towards surfing. They also noted that it's dangerous due to swift currents and rocks, and signboards are warning to be safe, but they're speculated to have broken due to the typhoon. So, a bit odd. But yeah, his tweets actually do read like someone that's probably got some kind of mental illness, but he really did turn up dead here. So, maybe he really was being hunted. That's the conspiracy. It is weird. It is weird. Especially since it's already the 3rd crypto billionaire death in a short period of time.
Why? We want to hear more about what was going on at this company and who else was complicit, because this is fraud that stinks to the top. And we don't want
it, I can assure you, the 28-year-old Harry Potter fan is all but innocent in this. I'm shocked that, well, they must not have found a paper trail for her yet. I'm shocked that she's not already in their net. So I speculate that during the trial, she gets roped into all of this. He's not making it to trial. That's getting deep in the weeds. I just can't imagine what he would have on people that they'd want to shut him up for.
It's awesome to see him arrested, and I'll be following up with this story consistently. You can tune in on my Twitch channel, check out more, and watch out for more YouTube videos. Thanks, guys, for watching, and let's keep an eye on this.
Yeah, Big A's been doing such an amazing job covering this entire saga of SBF and FTX. I don't really know what the speed of movement is on a case this big. Maybe this is quick by other standards, but to me it felt remarkably slow. And maybe that's just because of how painful the journey was to get here, with all of the major news outlets treating it like he wasn't a fraud. So maybe that's why it felt so long to me. I don't know. Yeah, most people are saying this was super fast. So yeah, it really must have just been all of the news outlets that really made me feel like this was a... It's finally happening. P. Diddy has been arrested. Anything is possible! This is a moment for celebration. For so long, P. Diddy has gotten away with heinous crimes that tons of people knew about. From car bombs to assaults to sex crimes. It's like P. Diddy was going for some kind of high score, trying to catch every possible crime like a Pokemon. He has terrorized the music industry for decades and ruined so many lives. In recent times, the evidence against him to support all of the allegations that have existed for decades has been overwhelming and led to a large investigation against P. Diddy, and now it looks like we're reaching the climactic finale with him being arrested. When this story broke last night, the indictment was sealed, but this morning they said, "Open the gates. Let them see." To sum it up, he has been charged with sex trafficking by force, transportation to engage in prostitution, and racketeering conspiracy, alleging he ran an enterprise that engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, or kidnapping, arson, and other crimes. He abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct from 2008 till now. The allegations mirror 11 civil complaints filed against him since 2023. Really, that's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the P. Diddy lore. He is a horrible menace that has been around for decades. Also mentioned is that he had thousands of bottles of lube and baby oil that were seized from his home during those raids as part of his freak-off supplies. He also had tons of narcotics as well. So Diddy became infamous for his freak-off parties that would go on for days, where he'd force attendees to not only stay there and perform non-consensual sex acts in front of him, but he would just be pumping them full of drugs, and he would be watching while furiously masturbating like a coked-out goblin. So in relation to the drug charges, he'd allegedly distribute cocaine, oxy, Xanax, GHB, MDMA, and ketamine. I'm going to be very brave here for a moment and say, that's not alleged, that is confirmed. The amount of drugs this guy had here, he was like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, but drugs instead of candy. The amount of freaky shit they found in his house must have been like entering a separate dimension. Thousands of bottles of lube, like so much lube would make Bad Dragon's headquarters jealous. Thousands of bottles of baby oil, more than Johnson & Johnson's warehouse, probably. I wouldn't be surprised if they found the goddamn Death Note among those freak-off supplies. His legal team seems very optimistic that things are going to go well for P. Diddy. They even released a statement saying, "We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office." Hi, Mark. The fuck is wrong with you, man? Are you serious? Like, I understand it's your job. I get that, but holy cannoli, an unjust prosecution, huh? So what if there's overwhelming evidence to support the decades worth of allegations against Mr. Combs here? And so what if there's that video of him brutally beating Cassie in that hotel? He said he's sorry. Did we forget about that? He apologized. Let's all move on from it. Racketeering? You're gonna try and come after him for racketeering? Mr. Combs' brain is so rotted from years of drug abuse, he can't even spell racketeering, much less engage in it. This is a load of hooey. It's unjust. A miscarriage of justice, even. He goes on to glaze him a little bit, sucking on his cock, calling him a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, proven philanthropist. He then has the gall to say he's imperfect but not a criminal, and then says he's been nothing but cooperative with this investigation and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. Please reverse your judgment until you have all the facts. These are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court. See, that's the thing, Mark. People have all the facts because there's so much evidence with the facts. There is video evidence to support the facts. What do you mean? Again, I know he's just doing his job, but that shit is so shameless and foul. I don't know how you sleep at night when you have to defend someone that is obviously guilty like P. Diddy. It's fucking wild to me. P. Diddy. 31 minutes ago. Sean Combs arrested in Manhattan after grand jury indictment. They done caught the diddler. They also had that video drop of him beating the shit out of her recently. And then he released the apology video about it. It's always, like, I understand it's their job to defend their clients, but it's always just so crazy. A statement from Mr. Combs' legal team said that they are disappointed with the decision to prosecute him and noted that he had been cooperative with the investigation and had voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. Ugh. We're so disappointed that they're actually trying to hold him accountable. Like, we're really upset about that, actually. Yeah, there's overwhelming evidence to all of these awful, awful crimes that he's committed, including that video of him beating the shit out of Cassie. But like, Why would you, like, I thought this was a free country. Why would you try and, like, punish him for that? I'm assuming the apology video didn't work. We don't know yet. We don't know. Maybe they'll send the apology video out to the powers that be and they'll be like, wow, he is reformed. This is a good man. We can't punish him for... He's changed. He has changed so much. Look at this apology video and how sincere it is. We're dropping the charges.
I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Now, Combs...
It takes... I'm not going to show any of that. It's brutal. It takes a big man like Puff Daddy to take full responsibility after saying he's going to make no excuses and immediately starting the video with an excuse about hitting fucking rock bottom or whatever. Ah, man. A beacon of strength, really. It took a lot of courage for that apology video. I respect 50 Cent being a massive hater and selling the documentary Diddy Do It. 50 Cent has been, like, I would say an elite level hater of P. Diddy for quite a while. I don't remember how long ago this was, but there's a comment he left on an Instagram post of Diddy's that I think about from time to time and giggle on. It was P. Diddy riding a bike, and 50 Cent left the comment under it saying, "We all know there's no seat on that bike." That shit, like, I was grabbing my belly when I first read that one. I thought that was so good. Earlier this evening, federal agents arrested Sean Combs based on a sealed indictment filed by the SDNY. United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, said in a statement, "We expect to move to unseal the indictment in the morning and we'll have more to say at that time." Federal grand jury in Manhattan returned an indictment against Combs, which set in motion his arrest. The charges remain sealed. Oh, keeping him a mystery right now. A little loot box of charges here for him. What was the name of his camp for kids where you, like, brainwash kids and shit? Was it Puff Daddy Pastry Parade or something? What the fuck was it? Puff Daddy Love Care? Puffy Flavor Camp. That's what it was.
The singer and producer...
Puffy Flavor Camp. That's right. Basically like abducted kids. That's exaggeratory. He didn't, like, abduct them himself. But that shit was foul. The 48 Hours with Justin. Oh, yeah. The P. Diddy clip with Puffy Flavor Camp. He was like... I don't remember the whole... I'll pull up the clip, I guess, in a second. But there's a clip where there's an interview, and he's like, No. Justin's got 48 hours with Puff. He's got a 48 Puffy hours. No interruptions. It'll be good for him or something. It's so weird. Fucking diddler. In plain sight. Right under everyone's nose for years. Finally, though, they're acting on all of the shit. Much like Epstein, it feels like everyone knew he was on some heinous shit, but no one came forward because he's so influential. Well, that was one of the big things. If I remember correctly, he had, like, a lot of dirt on everyone through throwing his Diddy parties. So I think that was a big piece of leverage for him in keeping people quiet for so long. All of you probably know by now, they finally caught the dastardly diddler. P. Diddy has been arrested, and I imagine that scene looks straight out of Batman Arkham Asylum when they have, like, Joker strapped to that thing walking him through the insane asylum. This guy is a menace that terrorized the entire music industry for decades. I've gone over his lore a lot, so I'm not just going to regurgitate all of that. There's a lot of new things I want to talk about that's been happening as a result of him being arrested. The first thing that happened almost immediately is they put him under suicide watch. It was like a speed run to get him there. I don't know if that's standard protocol or if they found something that made them believe he might hurt himself, like he was smuggling razor blades in his butthole, or maybe they were worried that without baby oil he'd just take his own life because he doesn't know how to live without baby oil. I really couldn't tell you. Maybe this is just textbook procedure. That's what they're saying it is, calling it procedural suicide watch for high-profile clients. But I've only seen this once before in a case like this, and it was Epstein. And in his case, it was more like suicide don't watch, because it didn't really do much. Very suspicious, but we're not here to talk about that. Point is, though, this happened immediately upon him being taken into custody for the most part, like within a couple of days. And since his arrest, tons of clips and videos and information about who associated with P. Diddy has been coming out. And it's a lot of big celebrities. P. Diddy was a very well-connected person. There were huge names at his freak-off events. There's a lot of people that absolutely knew what P. Diddy was doing. And there's going to most likely be a lot of big celebrities that get implicated in some heinous shit in their connection with Diddy. One person right now that a lot of people are having their eyes on is Usher. I mentioned Usher as well when talking about P. Diddy being arrested, and it's because Usher has gone on record talking about his time at Puffy Flavor Camp, which again, I think is the most on-the-nose shit ever. Like, that just sounds like an evil diddler organization. Puffy fucking Flavor Camp. So anyway, when Usher was a kid in the 90s, he lived with P. Diddy for a year at this Puffy Flavor Camp, and he went on Howard Stern's show and talked a little bit about his experience, kind of vaguely, but mentioned multiple times that there were things going on that he just couldn't understand, and probably shouldn't have been experiencing. When asked if he would send his kid to a Puffy Flavor Camp, he said, hell no. This is someone who lived through the evilness of P. Diddy and did nothing to prevent it from happening to others, like Justin Bieber, another Puffy Flavor Camp veteran. A lot of Bieber clips have surfaced from when he was a kid in Hollywood, and it is fucking foul. Not just in relation to P. Diddy, but in general, the way Hollywood, like, openly sexualized him as a kid is absurd. Like, that shit is crazy. Anyway, though, back to Usher. He's never spoken out against Diddy or anything, whether that's out of fear or maybe he really thinks that what happened to him is just the norm in Hollywood, because P. Diddy was so connected and so many artists went through him and were put through horrible shit with P. Diddy because they were convinced that they had to go through that in order to be successful in the industry, because P. Diddy told them that, and people told them that. P. Diddy would be like the kingmaker, so you'd have to be fucking waterboarded by baby oil and all kinds of like depraved shit for P. Diddy in order to be successful. Otherwise, he might ruin your career before it even starts. He was the boogeyman of the industry. So whether Usher is afraid of what P. Diddy might have on him, or if he doesn't view what happened to him as like a bad thing, I have no way of knowing why, but he's never spoken out against Diddy, which has made a lot of people really suspicious of Usher. And then yesterday, he deleted all of his tweets. He then put out a quick statement saying, "Account got hacked and damn y'all ran with it," crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji. "See you tonight." I mean, I don't think there's anyone on the planet that believes that. You'd have to get up pretty early in the morning to try and pull this fast one on someone. Like, who in the world would take that hook, line, and sinker? You're telling me a hacker went on your Twitter and the only thing they did was secretly delete all of your tweets? Who was the hacker? Your PR manager? What? Usually when an account gets hacked on Twitter, two things happen. Either it starts spamming slurs and like unhinged tweets, or it starts promoting crypto scams. Why would someone hack him just to scrub his Twitter from potentially damaging tweets that might be used as evidence potentially? Like, the timing of that makes no sense. That must be like the most helpful hacker of all time. Who hacked this guy? Captain America trying to protect him or something? Like, what? I can confidently say that's a load of baloney right there. That is some dirty barnacles. Usher did not get hacked. But maybe there's a chance he himself didn't go through and delete them. He might have had one of his managers do it. Like, that's possible, I guess. But either way, it doesn't matter. It was a conscious decision to go through and scrub his Twitter. It had to be. That's the only thing that makes sense. Diddy gets arrested, and then a few days later, his whole Twitter account is scrubbed, and he had a very close relationship with Diddy? I mean, that's super suspicious. And then to try and claim that it was a hacker who did it secretly? Like, what? It just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. Now, there was another celebrity who also scrubbed her Twitter, and it's Pink. I saw her name floating around in regards to, like, scrubbed Twitters as well, where people were claiming Pink had just scrubbed all of her tweets as well because of Diddy's arrest. So I looked into that because I'd never heard about Pink and Diddy being close or anything, but I also wasn't the most tapped into Hollywood and the music industry connections. And what I learned is that Pink didn't just scrub her Twitter in light of Diddy's arrest. She actually deleted all of her tweets back in February. So 7 months ago she did that as a way of just stepping away from social media because she said she didn't enjoy it. So it doesn't sound like it has anything to do with Diddy. And from everything I've looked at, she's never, like, been publicly around Diddy. Like, it doesn't seem like they're friends or anything. I can't find anything of her talking positively about it or attending one of his freak off events or anything. You know, I don't see any connection like that, so I don't think she deleted her tweets because of P. Diddy. I do believe Usher did, though. I don't think it's some kind of coincidence that his Twitter account gets mysteriously hacked and he has all of his tweets deleted after P. Diddy's arrest and after the public becomes really well aware of how many people P. Diddy was close with. That just, something smells a little fishy there. So I think this is just the beginning of celebrities and P. Diddy like putting the spotlight on the awful shit that they were all privy to. Like I said, P. Diddy is a very well-connected person for decades. Apparently, he was also a big enthusiast of filming some things at these events and would use some of it as like dirt on people that attended them, and that'd be another way he'd use to keep people's mouths shut about some of the stuff that would happen there. But I do think that the tapes will probably get confiscated at some point, and I think that information will probably lead to a lot of celebrities getting into some big hot water. Now, there is a celebrity that I haven't mentioned yet that has been in the spotlight a little bit as a result of P. Diddy being arrested, and it's Kevin Hart. So, Kevin Hart is in a P. Diddy video. At one of the freak-off events, Kevin Hart is there. And people are claiming that after P. Diddy got arrested, Kevin Hart closed all of his restaurants. Kevin Hart has a fast food chain called Hart House, and they are claiming that he shut down all of those restaurants as a result of P. Diddy being arrested, trying to like get ahead of it. But from what I can see, he actually closed down those restaurants a week before P. Diddy got arrested, so that might not be the reason for it, but it also could be, because I think everyone knew this day was coming with P. Diddy getting arrested, because so much evidence has been coming to light so quickly. So there is still that chance, but I do think it's more likely Kevin Hart shut them down for other reasons outside of that, and that Kevin Hart is probably still guilty of some horrible shit at these P. Diddy events, but I don't know if that was the reason behind closing down the restaurants. Again, though, I do think there's going to be a lot of information that comes out about a lot of celebrities as a result of P. Diddy's arrest. So, just wanted to give a little update here, because my favorite lolcow, the goober of Gadoosh, Wes Watson, has been arrested. It happened last night while I was streaming, so it was a beautiful little present that we got to engage with and go down the rabbit hole on. And today, the rare super specimen alpha male was negotiating a bail with his lawyer to the judge. John Bravo covered it, and I want to show you a little bit of that bond hearing before showing you about the arrest. This is all tying back to that brutal assault he had on the 7-foot monster who accepted Wes Watson's challenge to fight him. The 7-foot monster went there expecting a 1v1. It was not a 1v1. Wes Watson was surrounded by the goof troop, who beat him mercilessly with weight belts, dumbbells, and striking him in the head numerous times, upwards of 40 times, while he was down on the ground. And when the 7-foot monster was crawling away after everything was said and done, even though this had already been done and dusted, Wes Watson came back with a soccer kick that absolutely could have killed him, and it led to a facial fracture and concussion. Now, he has been arrested for felony battery.
Wes Watson, the piece of shit. He was in court this morning. They fuck up everywhere. They don't even see the guy has a prior, okay? But again, this is not a trial. This is just him begging and pleading with his bitch lawyer to try to get a bail for it.
I believe Mr. Watson has numerous defenses, including stand your ground, self-defense, and consent to this charge. I understand the state's theory. However, this individual came to Mr. Watson for the specific purpose of challenging him in a street fight.
Objection! I'm gonna hit you with that Phoenix right, because that's just not the whole truth, nothing but the truth. That's a fucking fib. Wes Watson has a history of challenging everyone who gadooshes him to fight him. He openly challenges tons and tons of people to come to his gym to fight him. And the 7-foot monster was one of those people that accepted the challenge. Yes, he filmed it. Yes, he was the one that pushed Wes Watson first, but he didn't strike Wes Watson. He approached him. They got into a verbal argument. He shoved Wes, and then that was the end of him attacking Wes. Then it was Wes and his 3 friends hitting him with dumbbells, weight belts, getting him to the floor and striking him in the head as many times as possible in like 2 minutes, and then Wes coming back after it was all over to soccer kick him in the head again. I truly don't believe that you can make a sound argument for self-defense when you watch the entirety of that footage. Now, this is not a trial, I recognize that. This is him just trying to get bail so he can post it. But they really do fuck up. They didn't know he had a prior? How? Wes Watson brags about his prior, the 7 years he spent in jail. He brags about that more than someone who peaked in high school who can't stop recounting the glory days of being the high school quarterback like 40 years ago. He will not stop talking about how much time he spent in jail, yet somehow they didn't know he had a prior?
Your Honor, I don't see any local or out-of-county priors here. I would defer to the court and just simply ask for the stay-away order.
The victim suffered a face fracture, concussion, and 2 black eyes, but it looks like you have a very valid legal argument, Mr. Gottlieb.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask for an ROR.
$2,500 count 1, $2,500 count 2 with the stay-away order.
Okay, I just want to, just real quick.
Mr. Watson, please don't make any statements. You and I can talk about it. Thank you, sir.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. I'll make sure your bond is arranged. Thank you, Your Honor.
Wes just couldn't help himself. He wanted to yap so badly. I bet he was offended that they didn't see his prior. He was probably going to correct them like, excuse me, Your Honor. This is a load of bullshit. I am a rich stud. I spent 7 years in the slammer, and now look at me. I'm driving 10 Bugattis, and I'm teaching men how to be like me, damn it. The super stud. I went to jail for 7 years. Don't you forget it. I mean this with no exaggeration. Him being in jail for 7 years is probably his proudest achievement. He does not shut the fuck up about it. He is always mentioning how he was in jail for 7 years. So I actually think he was hurt that they didn't see his prior. Now, this again was just for bail. I'm sure he's very happy with how this went down, but I'm hoping that when this does go to trial, they won't be making fuck-ups like this. They won't be making errors like overlooking the 7 years he had already spent locked up. Anyway, though, let's go over his actual arrest here. We did a nice dive into it on stream, so enjoy. It really is just a wonderful thing watching Wes Watson get arrested. Alright. Wes Watson lolcow update. Apparently he's getting arrested. Wes Watson has been allegedly arrested by Miami PD an hour ago. Witnesses confirmed he was put in the back of the car. Reason unknown. Probably has something to do with the blatant assault that was on camera. With Wes Watson, it could be a number of things. Maybe it isn't the assault that we watched. Maybe he was, I don't know, hooping paperwork in the bathroom of the gym and someone reported him for it. It really could be anything. The police gadooshing him. Yeah, he just can't stop. He's a gadoosh magnet. And what's really sad and almost poetically beautiful, Wes Watson isn't really a known name, so there's not a single article written about his arrest. It just comes from Ballbusters with 20 likes. You gotta check the county, you have to check the county mugshot to see his charges. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yep, they got it here already. They did all the hard work. Alright. So they got him on battery and aggravated assault, which is what we saw in that footage where he beat that man with weight belts and then his friends were also beating him and he was soccer kicking his head when he was on the ground. What an alpha male, Wes. What an alpha male. But he's back at home. He spent, what, 10 years in jail, and he talked about how much he loved it. Talked about how he'd always, like, show his butthole around or whatever. Whatever he liked to brag about. How good he was at hooping his paperwork. I'm sure he's happy. I bet he is going to be more comfortable in that cell than in his $90,000 or $900,000 a month rented mansion or whatever it is. I already forgot. Numbers always change. 5'8", lol. I mean, everyone knew he was short. Did he pretend he wasn't? That's not surprising. You can literally see him next to people and recognize he's not tall. He's taller than you. Yeah, barely. And I'm short. He used to say he was 6 foot. Oh, Wes. That's so sad. You want to know something even more sad? He's probably not actually 5'8". He's probably closer to my height at 5'6". They probably had him in his fucking clown shoes, giving him an extra 2 inches. Kind of like what they do for basketball stats, where they just put your height like a little inch or two taller. Oh, the mugshot! Oh, see, he looks happy. He looks at peace. This is actually the happiest I've seen him look in, what, months? Because usually he's red in the face, melting down, talking about getting gadooshed by Redditors. He's just perpetually on edge. Even when he's talking to his girl that he rents, he's always, like, mad. And he's always trying to, like, prove something. But here, he looks, like, so serene. He's in his happy place again. He's back in jail, baby. I'm excited to see what they set his bond at. This is fresh, too. This is straight off the press. We got boots on the ground right now for this. How'd they get him? Well, it was filmed. They have multiple angles of him beating the shit out of a man, soccer kicking his head while he's already on the ground and hitting him with weight belts. John Bravo counted it. What was it? 48 hits to the head? From Wes alone? It was something like that. God, it is crazy how he replies to every single person in text messages. I want to be able to identify men by their assholes easier. Nice. That is something Wes said. In Wes's own words, he said people used to identify him not by his face, but his asshole when he was locked up. He would brag about that. He really is a lol cow. He is. He responds to every single DM, every single text message, everything. And then when someone finally takes him up on his infamous, come fight me, bro, he has his friends jump him and they hit him with weapons, dumbbells and weight belts, and then kicking his head while he's on the ground for like 45 seconds, delivering well north of 40 plus blows to the head and 4 soccer kicks. Also, he literally did say that verbatim. I even played the clip. Okay, here. I got him again from my same phone number I pranked him on a month ago. I'm interested in coaching. Let me know and you can go over more details. What's up, bro? What's your main focal point? I'm 5'5", 240. I eat cupcakes, chips all day. I beat my stick 8 times a day. Sometimes I even drink it because it tastes good and I'm a freak, but I want to break that habit. Are you messing with me or do you really do that last part you texted me? Don't waste my time. I really do it. Oh my god, I'm not reading all this. Jesus. $5,999 a month. Or, great deal, $15K for 3 months. Whoa. Wait a minute, I gotta stop the music for that. That's a steal. That's an incredible deal. He's just giving his juice away. He's getting this Krabby Patty secret formula into the hands of desperate men for such a low cost, only $6,000 a month? Holy. Okay, I'll do the 12 months for 40K. Great! You need it! Okay. Oh, is this where the leaf blower meme comes from? Is this the genesis? Do I need a leaf blower to start? Do I need to rent escorts? Do I need to rent supercars? Do I need to rent a mansion? Do I need to beef with Reddit users daily? Do I need to scream at people on Instagram? Do I need to drive around my rental in circles? Does every body part need to be tatted? Do I need to use Metal Gear Solid exclamation points, basically, after every sentence? Do I need to turn gay? Do I need to link up with Lados and Nick and circle jerk with him at Elevation? Also, will Diddy be there? I knew you were a troll. You're nothing but a beta bitch. Fuck off and keep being a pussy. You'll never be anything in life. And then a picture of a leaf blower. This is not real. Nope, it is. Wes Watson, if he wasn't in jail right now, you could test it yourself. If you DM'd him saying like, hey, I'm looking for coaching, he would respond being like, yes, for only $6,000 a month. What do you want? And if you just like hit him with anything like you're a bitch, you'd be like, all right, well, and then he'll go on like Instagram and post a story. So I had this bitch come at a stud like me. Can you believe this? Oh my god. Daily. Actually, I'm gonna check his Instagram right now. I'm gonna wager a guess he has nothing shy of 30 stories just today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Just shy. We just missed it. It's crazy. But here he is. I don't know what Wonder what he's complaining about.
You'll understand there's a fucking point there. And I know the answer to all of this shit, but you guys don't seem to. You guys keep falling.
It's just because you're a galaxy brain, Wes. No one goes to jail more effectively than you, brother. Yeah, he does that like 30 times a day, at least. Unfortunately, his arrest is going to make it so he's going to fall short of his quota of stories on Instagram, unfortunately. But, you know, it is what it is. When you're a stud like Wes, sometimes you got to go into the slammer every now and then. It would be over 30 if he wasn't in jail for the past 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah. He got felony charges, lol. Yep. I know. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Wonder how many people send him the 6K. I don't know how many people send him the 6K, but there's a lot of dudes that try and suck on his meat and try and do exactly what he does. So there's like an old guy that this subreddit was clowning on for a while. I forgot his name. I'm sure if I scrolled down far enough, I could just come across him. But there's a couple dudes that do literally what Wes Watson does, one-to-one, even mimicking the way he R. Kelly is a name that'll strike fear into the hearts of underage girls everywhere. If you see R. Kelly, you're in trouble, because he's going to be pissing on you if you're an underage girl. Most of us already know R. Kelly is a bad person, a fucking cult leader with sex slaves, a horrible, horrible person. And I thought with that video of Drake surfacing recently where he's being very uncomfortably close with a 17-year-old girl on stage, and then after finding out she was 17, he starts fucking kissing her like he was trying to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, and then he compliments how good her breast felt against his chest, all after finding out she was 17. He just made it really fucking weird, going full kiddo mode. And I thought, since that came out and everyone's talking about that, why don't we look at some weird shit R. Kelly's done on stage? So this was during a recent performance of R. Kelly. This time there wasn't too many golden showers being handed out, but for some reason he went to the front row and asked the women to wipe him. I don't know how common this is at his concerts. Maybe this is his finale, like his Bohemian Rhapsody. I really have no fucking idea, but it's extremely weird, and I don't know how it's sexual, but apparently it is, because the girls are going wild, about to fucking faint like they're at the One Direction concert. Holy shit, you're wiping his sweat. And then I like how he sings "Wipe My Nose." That was actually pretty cute. Then the girls are like telling him, wipe his hair, come on. Oh, I'm not going to be able to come if you don't wipe his hair. Oh, shit. Why the fuck would anyone want their tongue wiped? Why would you want a dry tongue? And you already know that shirt they're using to wipe him down is covered in semen, so it's probably the crustiest thing on the fucking planet. It's probably akin to using sandpaper on his tongue. I just don't really see how it's sexy, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think this would work at a bar situation as a pickup line. Like, you know, you got a cloth carrying around with you like you're a golfer looking to wipe off his clubs, or a WWE wrestler trying to wipe the sweat off him. You toss it at the girl you're interested in, you say, hey bitch, can you wipe my tongue? And you stick it out. You're going to jail that night. That's not sexy, that's fucking scary. I fucking love that move right there. Oh, keep wiping me. And then all the girls are like touching at his penis like they're all trying to get their hands on the Super Bowl trophy at the end of the game. Now, I don't want to show too much of this clip though, because at some point you can see his semi-chubbed wiener coming out there, and I'm surprised he didn't pee himself or an all over them. But one of the girls pinched the tip and he recoiled, and because it hurt, obviously. And that's where the video ends. He was shaking his finger like, no, you don't pinch my penis like that. Now let's go ahead and move on to Exhibit B here in front of the court for why R. Kelly's an absolute fucking menace to society. This is from an Ethiopian concert a while back. I believe it was a New Year's concert, and he was trying to recruit women to come back to America with him.
Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? America. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? America.
R. Kelly is a lot of awful, awful, horrible things, but one thing he is not is an anti-vaxxer. So at least that's good. He's better than the people in Beverly Hills who for some reason refuse to fucking vaccinate their children because they're so fucking stupid. Fuck you. Anyway, R. Kelly's awful. He's really bad. But what I really like about this clip in particular is that the backup band keeps playing during this lunacy. You can even hear like a backup singer saying, "America," as if she's also trying to recruit them to come back with R. Kelly. It's wild. So this was obviously pre-planned. It's not like he just went off book here. So he had to go up to the band and say, "Hey, look, guys, I'm going to start recruiting here. I need some more sex slaves, and I'd like you guys to help me out here with a really soothing melody." "Oh, yeah, anything for you, R. Kelly. Sure, yeah, I got you."
Do you have your passport? Did you get your shot? Who wants to come back with us to America?
Really fucking took it home right there. What a performance, an inspired performance. And that is how you recruit for a cult right there, ladies and gentlemen. Learn how to sing. It's all it takes, apparently. R. Kelly's a horrible person. You don't need me to tell you that. But I thought these were two really interesting and fucking weird videos to talk about here.